Hello everybody! Welcome to another Sunday Funday, and as I told you all, we were going to get to probably one of the considered worst films throughout the entire 2019. Unfortunately, it's not a we, it's simply me. You can thank the fact that Megan has to work. Yeah, it was supposed to be a dual review of Megan and myself talking about, of course, cats.
Are you going to try for a different life?
A new day has begun.
Yeah, oh god, that trailer was not a good thing. So, one of the reasons why I was actually going to have Megan and me talking about this is because Megan is actually a big fan of the original Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. She, in fact, very much enjoys it. She, in fact, showed it to me. It was like one of our third or fourth dates. It tells you how long we've been going out together. But that was one thing she showed me, and I absolutely fucking hated it. I can't help it. I could not get into it at all. I was like, I'm glad you like it. It's not for me. So, to talk about cats. Yeah, this has held up pretty well. It's considered as possible in the worst films to be released in 2019. Hell, there is a very good argument to be made that this is one of the worst movies of the decade. This is easily one of the worst movies to have ever come out. There's a reason why this is almost being thought of in such awe as, say, like Mortal Kombat Annihilation, Battlefield Earth, hell, Alien Resurrection. You name me one of these all-time classic bad movies, Cats is starting to be included in it already. And the reason why is it's fucking horrible. There is nothing redeeming about the movie. Megan may argue against me about this, and that is okay. Everybody is allowed their opinion. They are allowed to think what they wish. But this is one of the most poorly put together films I have seen ever. Much less poorly put together musicals. The first thing that we have to talk about, before I even talk about anything in terms of plot, we have to talk about the massive elephant in the room, which is the CGI. Now, when the trailer originally dropped, everybody was like, this really looks crappy. It looks really, really bad. The CGI looks unfinished. It looks terrible. And it came out 2 months ago or so. Like, it came out near Halloween, if I'm not mistaken. It was like a week or two beforehand. It was like, that doesn't look good. Is this supposed to be as frightening as it is? Hence the Nightmare on Elm Street shirt I'm wearing? No, that's supposed to be a quinky dink. And there was rumors whenever this originally got released that, yeah, it was unfinished and they were going to re-release it this weekend. I don't know if we saw that version because the CGI still, it's unfinished at points. There are times where characters just look completely off because it's supposed to be people in pretty much mocap suits. And there is times where Idris Elba plays a character, Mediocrity is what I'm going to call him. I think it's Medicati. I don't care. It's one of the things. In fact, I have them pulled up right here. Macavity. Fuck me. Yeah, he's supposed to be playing the sort of like villainous kind of character. There are times you can sort of see it's Idris Elba, and there's other times it's really, really off. Like, the bad CGI Sonic thing that they were going to release in November of this year, that they redid, and actually it now looks at least sort of like Sonic. This made that look good. This is so bad at times. His, like, sometimes it looks like really flat looking. Sometimes there's supposed to be obviously makeup on the actors' faces, I guess, but sometimes it doesn't blend real well with the CGI. There's certain times where you can tell that they're wearing suits. Like, it's very, very obvious they are wearing suits, which, yeah, sure, they're cats, but in the same instance, it doesn't mesh with the CGI. Like, you can see where the CGI stops and the suit starts. It's very bad. There are points to where the entire movie is just an absolute, like, acid trip in how insane it tries to go with certain things. But the worst sin of the entire CGI debacle, it's, like I keep saying, it's not finished. They didn't bother to finish the damn thing. There are times when the actors' hands are supposed to be CGI'd looking like the cat of their color, and they are just a human hand. Like, it's fleshy color. And it would be fine with a cat, like the Dame Judi Dench, who she's in here, because she was needing some coke money, I guess. Her cat's color is more of a kind of like sort of like a tabby, I guess, in a way. It's a kind of gingerish kind of cat. But it's like her hands being a fleshy kind of, okay, you can kind of get away with it. But then there's other times, like the main cat of this pains me to call them this, the Jellicles, or Jellicles. They say it a bunch of times, and I'm going to get into it here in a minute. But his hands, like you can see his human hands, which just brings me to the one thing. Why didn't they just make this cats? Like actual cats, like CGI cats. It's gonna look like utter garbage. It's gonna look bad. But this looks worse. This looks like somebody was given $100 million, didn't fucking know what they were doing, and just shit out something. They're like, oh, there's a movie. And what the hell? Compared to freaking Battlefield Earth, at least that movie had terrible acting, sure, and the writing felt like the script was being written in the middle of trying to shoot scenes. But at least it felt like the visual effects were done. They looked like garbage, but they were done. Mortal Kombat Annihilation. The visual effects looked like ass throughout most of the movie, but you know they had $3 to spend on the whole thing. Batman and Robin. Oh, it's so incompetent at times, which is how bad this movie looks. And because of that, you cannot invest yourself in any of what's going on. Which doesn't matter because what's going on is really nonsensical. Ugh. Alright, so what are the issues with my original issues I had with the original musical Cats is that it's exactly that. It's a thing about cats. I know people are like, well, it's based on a T.S. Eliot story and blah, blah, blah. Okay, here's the thing, y'all. Just because it's based on something doesn't mean you can't change certain things. Fine example of that. The fact that they originally were going to make Johnny Storm a black guy, more importantly, they're making Michael B. Jordan, I had no problem with. I had an issue with the fact that his sister, his supposed to be blood sister, because it's one of the dynamics for the Fantastic Four, was instead changed to an adopted sister, and she was white. Just make her black. That's fine. There's plenty of wonderful black actresses out there that would love the opportunity, who would do fantastic as Sue Storm. And not only that, but hey, look, you gave yourself an interracial couple. If you want to keep Reed white, which if you don't, that's fine. I don't give a shit. It would be interesting. You don't have to keep a character's particular way in which they look. The only thing we want is the main idea. And that's one of the issues with this whole thing is that, first off, just to put it this way, if you do not absolutely adore adore the original musical or love the original poems or anything like that, this entire movie is going to be like just two toddlers spouting nonsense in your ears for nearly 2 hours. Yes, the movie is nearly 2 hours long. Because you got names like Timbledy-Shanks or Shibbledy-Shanks. I don't fucking know. Mephistopheles, even though I swore that was the name of the bad guy from Ghost Rider. And then you have all these stupid cats, their tribe, or whatever they are, is called the Jellicles. It's like, the fuck is all this nonsense wording? I had it up to my limit whenever it came to actually trying to sit down and read Clockwork Orange. I get it. There are times whenever an author is trying to say something in certain ways, but whenever it becomes a slog to try and translate what they are trying to say into actual regular human thought and regular speech patterns, you're going to begin to miss chunks of this. To kind of explain what I mean, let's say, for instance, like the fact that they're called the Jellicles. Like, okay, it's like, okay, well, why are they called this? It's like, okay, well, this, okay. And I'll admit, that's a small thing to begin hanging yourself up on. But then whenever you're like, okay, well, who are all these characters? Who is this? And then the movie begins literally by just pounding you with like, hey, here's a bunch of characters. You're not going to remember 2 of them. Thanks. Fucking fantastic. It's so aggravating when a film decides to, instead of genuinely let these characters introduce themselves, especially one of the big ones, Mr. Mistopheles, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He is one of the main kind of characters, in the lack of a better way of describing him. Without him just being introduced and without them constantly saying his name, I would not know who he is. I can't tell you the main leader of the Jellicles, that character's name. I think it's said twice, and it's said in the middle of a song while they're all singing it. And then it's maybe mentioned once or twice. Hell, Rebel Wilson pops up in this, and I cannot tell you that character's name. I can tell you one other character, or I can tell you maybe like 2 or 3 different characters' names. There is the stand-in for the audience, which is Victoria. And she is this like doe-eyed, pretty much Kristen Stewart level kind of cat that just kind of wanders around and sees what's going on. And pretty much is just going where the plot needs to take itself, I guess. I can also remember old Deuteronomy, I'm going to call her that because I'm stupid. I think it's Deuteronomy, or however you pronounce it. And why they throw old in there, because it's the name Judi Dench. I know it's something from the play, from the musical. I know it's something from the original thing. But it's okay to make a bit of a change to a name. It's not going to kill things. I'm not going to be upset if you change some of this stuff. Especially considering, like, the big thing that they're all doing and what we need to watch this for is because they're going to Heaviside. And they want to figure out who's going to be the cat that's going to go to Heaviside. Which, by the end of the entire film, is just going on a balloon and going to the sky and dying. Oh. And I'm going to get into that because it actually has a symbolism that is, if you have already picked up on it, it's beating you over the head with a shovel. Ugh. But yeah, so the beginning of the movie is just, hey, here is all these cats. They're going to talk about this. Hey, we're going to go over here to this thing. Hey, we're going to go over here and go see this cat. Hey, we're going to go over here and see this cat. And it gets so confounding so quickly. And I know many people may be, well, the original did this. Just because the original did it does not mean you have to do it. There's a lot of things that we can change via artistic interpretations of things. literally this is just bouncing from song to song to song to song, to where there is maybe altogether, in terms of just spoken dialogue, maybe about 20 lines altogether. The rest of it is just song to song, song, song. And from that, it gets to really be a slog to get through. It would be like having to put up with nothing but Raiden's attempt at trying to be eloquent from Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Or hearing nothing but Bane talking from Batman Robin for nearly an hour straight. It's a grind. And it's just, you're just sitting there going like, oh my god, can we stop singing for 5 fucking seconds? Can we stop dancing for 5 minutes, please? Can I sit still? And that's part of the thing. I guess it's trying to emulate very much of that very, pretty much operatic feel of the original. But it begins to just, it just feels like we're going from one place to another. It doesn't translate very well to film. It just begins to feel like we're just skipping around from scene to scene just because, oh, we want to hear the next song. Let's hear the next song. We can't have actual plot development. We can't actually move anything. No, we gotta have this plot grind to a halt every time there's a song. Hell, that's like at one point they introduced 2 characters. The only reason I remember them is simply because of Todd in the Shadows originally talking about the group Mungo Jerry, which, yes, they are based off of the original T.S. Eliot poems. At least that's where they got their names. Where it's the Mungo Jerry and Rambotiza. And in the original play, they actually had really good singers. I will give them that. The singers, they were actually fairly damn good. Here, that's another issue, is none of the singers are particularly good. Sure, some are decent dancers, and I guess we're supposed to care about the choreography, but it's hard whenever you have this glaringly bad CGI that is constantly across all the characters, and on top of everything, a lot of the singers are at their best okay. Nobody's good. Like, the best singer maybe is Jennifer Hudson, because she eventually pops up in this because it's a film where we need to have a singer, and they decided to make her the pretty much the browbeaten cat, Grisabella. You know, they all have stupid fucking names. And she's fine. She does fine with what she's given. Just there's some... Jennifer Hudson has a very beautiful sounding voice, and she can actually do quite a bit. But they just have her doing these just big, long... It's just long, drawn-out notes. And it's where you can begin to hear, it's like, okay, well, obviously this would sound really good on stage. Here, since your production crew is not that great, it sounds bad. And in fact, there's times when the music kind of feels like it fades really, really weird and awkwardly to the point where it's like we have to focus simply on the singers, and none of them are all that good. The worst is Ray Winstone, who pops up as Rumble Taiga. I think it's how his name's pronounced. He is just a henchman to the main Macavity, who's the main bad guy in this because he has magic. Never really explained. Doesn't really come up. It just kind of is a thing that happens. But yeah, Ray Winston is in his, and he cannot fucking sing. It's like Dwayne Johnson's attempt at trying to sing. It's poor. It's like, oh, you poor, poor guy. They made you sing. You can't. The next one who's really bad, unfortunately, is Idris Elba. He's giving it his all. He's probably the one who's trying the most. And he's just there. It's the best thing I can say. It's like, hey, he's present. He's not good, but he's present. Ah, fuck me. God, this movie is actually, it's actively exhausting. Just to sit there and just go over and over all these things. Oh, and another terrible fucking singer, and unfortunately she's given a big number, and that is Rebel Wilson. Rebel Wilson just does not have a good voice, and on top of everything, all her delivery and everything that's dealing with her cat is fat jokes, and it's just as insufferable as everything else she's fucking been doing for the past year and a half, maybe 2-3 years. Sorry, I almost lost some guts doing that. Oh, fuck me. But yeah, because you're just bouncing from place to place and just, oh, here's a new cat that's going to sing a song. Here's a new cat that's going to sing a song. Like, James Corden is actually a decent singer. I've heard him before, and I swear he was a good singer. Here he is overwrought at times, and again, the production is really, really, really shitty. I'm not even talking about the actual, like, set production. There's barely any. And that's another thing the movie has really going against is the fact that all the sets are mostly CGI. There's very little actual, like there's not really like, oh, sets here or there, and not only that, but the editing is baffling at times. Like, it is really jarring. Like, during the Kimberly Shanks, which is still the funniest damn name ever, ever. I laughed for a solid 5 minutes at that name. I was just laughing and rolling. Like, it's not that funny. It's like, it's a funny ass name. It's like, if I was called that, people should beat the shit out of me on the street. I would help them. I'd be like, here's my name, please beat the piss out of me. Ugh. But there's, like, it'll shift really hard in between, like, certain scenes. It doesn't flow. It's awkward at best. And that's the big thing, is like, the more that you're unable to focus on the narrative, because the narrative is at best weak. Because the whole thing is just about, well, these cats want to go to Heaviside to be reincarnated or something. And realistically, the major point of it all doesn't come up till probably over an hour in, if not longer. Like, old old D-word, old douchebag, there we go. Old douchebag really doesn't show up till over an hour into the film. Not that she's bad, she's the damn dude. Oh yeah, she also cannot sing. Might be age, she might have been able to sing wonderfully before. Not anymore, sorry. I don't sing all that wonderfully, that's just why I keep it to my car. And also you poor folks whenever I decide to randomly sing on videos, because I'm an asshole. But yeah, when she comes up, it's like, okay, now the plot's going to sort of start moving forward. It's going to actually start having a point. It's going to have a purpose to it all. And it's just still not a lot. There's just a lot of fucking singing. A lot of wasted time. And that's the other thing. Whenever, there has to be a song that's going to pull you in and make you really care about it. For me, I kind of did really like in the original play the Mungo Jerry song. I don't know why. It's just kind of it hit me in a good way, even though I didn't love it. I was like, I like that song. I like it a lot. Not many other songs that I really give that many shits about. Maybe McCavity's song I kind of liked in the original play. Here, all the songs feel overtly long and just feel like they go way too fucking over the top. And just for way too fucking long. And it makes it a slog to get through. And sure, they tried to get some well-renowned singers, and Jason Derulo is one of the singers they tried to get. He has his own song. It's fine, but they try to cover up his voice, which is kind of weird. It's like, Jason Derulo has a kind of distinctive voice. Like, he does have his own way of singing. It's like, let him do that. It's like, let Jason Derulo be Jason Derulo. And in fact, when they let him do that a little bit, it sounds pretty good. It's like, okay, that sounded good. And then it's like, okay, well, that was 5 seconds. Then we have to go back to giving him this weird-ass accent. Then they have Taylor Swift, She is, oh God, I cannot pronounce her name. I don't remember her that well. Bumblearina is what I'm going to call her because I cannot pronounce that. That is Bombalarina, which is retarded. Sorry. I don't care if I can't say the R words like that. The name just straight up is. But Bumbles, her song is fine. It's the McCavity song, but it's supposed to be sung with this laid back and kind of almost evil, nefarious ways. And it seems like it should be sung with somebody who has a little bit more poison behind their voice. Not saying that Taylor Swift can't, but usually when she does, it comes off really silly, and that's the worst thing. It's like, think about like with Bad Blood. She didn't come off anything but really butthurt and petty at times. And hell, even with Look What You Made Me Do, it came off really, really bad. I don't know, and that's another thing. It's like, why do we have all these actors? I know Sir Ian McKellen actually used to be on stage. You know, he came from production, or he came from plays and came from musicals and everything. And in fact, he's the only one who he tries, but he purposely kind of underplays what he's trying to sing. He's maybe the other good one besides Jennifer Hudson. But that's the thing. It's like, and even then, he's supposed to be, you know, this more kind of grizzled old cat, is the best way to put it. But his singing still just, it doesn't always work. And that's the issue. It's like, there's just song after song sung by actors who are not singers first. And it's like, well, what about people like Hugh Jackman? Could we not got Hugh Jackman on board with this? Hell, I don't even like him all that much. What about Russell Crowe? Hell, could we not call Scarlett Johansson? Could we not call anybody who actually knows how to sing? Could we not phone Will Smith for a few minutes? Could we not try and at least call, oh, I don't know, call his wife? Ask Jada what she's doing. She knows how to sing heavy metal, at least. It's weird. But it's baffling. That's not going to help a ton to have, you know, oh, well, it's better singers. Like, but at least it wouldn't be such a slog to get through. And that's the problem with the movie. Because the production is not really good, not just musically, but also the actual sets, the actual CGI, everything. Because that's so piss poor, you can't get into the rest of the movie. And if you are not a huge fan of the Cats musical, this movie's not going to do anything for you. You're going to fucking hate it. There's no way anybody who was not already a fan cared for this. If they are, I need to interview you. I need to talk to you. Because I need to know what you saw, please. I'm not going to try and belittle you. I just want to know because I'm so wowed. It's, oh my God, this is the worst thing I've seen. This might be the worst thing I've ever seen, y'all. Like, I was going into this thinking, okay, I know this is going to be a train wreck. This has got like a 2-something on IMDb. That means people aren't liking this. And I know people are like, well, Rotten Tomatoes. I don't give a shit that much about Rotten Tomatoes. IMDb to me is a little bit more, because you have to have an account. You have to be somebody who at least wants to watch a movie. And if it's not getting even IMDb fans, and that's the other thing, I have heard nobody say anything good about it except for the fact the movie's done and they don't have to watch it again. But it's painful. And I don't know what this was made for. That's the worst part. And if they would try and say, well, we made it for fans of the musical. Well, I don't know if fans of the musical are going to care for this. It's too haphazardly put together. It's too shittily put together. And put together with too little care for the actual source materials. Any of them, that is for it to be that enjoyable to people who are fans of the original, musical and the poems. And those who are not, it's not going to bring you in. You're going to hate it even more. You're going to be in pain the entire time. Your eyes are going to be bleeding. You're going to be screaming the entire time. Just, what was the purpose? I want to talk to the producers as well and just ask them, what the fuck was the idea behind all this? Because I need to know. Because I can't think that it was to make a good movie because it didn't accomplish any of that. Ugh. So, since I gave it a 9.5 stars. No. To sum up Cats, I can't say go see it if you're just wanting to watch a beautiful train wreck. Because that's one of the issues with the movie. Is like, the only word of mouth to go see it is just to see how bad it is. But this was a movie that if I was not going to review it, I would have fucking walked after maybe about 20 minutes, if that long. And that seems like a push of my endurance. This is a, like, rite of passage. This is the way you truly see how much you're willing to tolerate. Because if you can put up with Cats, you can put up with any piece of shit there is in the entire world. You can watch any decrepit turd that comes out of Hollywood's anus and just sit there and be like, give me more. And that is the other thing I have to say. For all the bad movies that are on the, if we'll talk about, a very well-known bad list, the IMDb bottom 100, there are a lot of movies on there that are like kind of lower budget films or like indie films. Like Manos Hands of Fate, yeah, it's terrible, but it had no budget. It didn't have much of an idea. It was made by people who really didn't understand what they were doing. Hell, even Plan 9 from Outer Space, again, same thing. But even then, Plan 9 from Outer Space at least is entertaining. This isn't even entertaining. That's one of the biggest gripes I could have with this, as trying to say it's a so bad movie. It's like, no, it's just so bad. It's an actively painful memory. Like, I feel like I need to go to therapy to get over this. So, of course, it's a fucking 1. I don't give zeros because that's wrong, but I will strongly tell everybody, if you are curious about going to see it, just to say, oh, it's so bad, don't. Wait till it comes out, like, free. I don't know. Pirate it. There you go. Pirate the shit out of this movie is what I say. This is not worth giving them any sort of money, because that is going to try and tell them that this should keep being made. Movies like Dolomite, The Room, are more competent than this. That is saying something. So, Megan Me Actually went ahead and figured this out for the most part, and we're actually going to, and I'm going to tell you what's going to go on for the new year. Now, yes, I have told y'all that you're going to get the best of 2018. I am very sorry. I meant to get that out sooner, and I'm going to explain it now. I was going to put it in the video. I will explain now, and I'll put more into the description. I just genuinely forgot I was there. I was like in midway editing it, put it aside, and I was like, okay, I'm going to put it out next week, and just forgot. I got busy with everything, and just, I was like, oh, shit, yeah, that's still my camera. I still have all the raw footage, so it's not like I have to do much but finish editing a damn thing. And as little editing as I do, but still edit certain things, especially for top 10 lists. I still forgot about it. I'm dumb. So there will be the top 10 of the 2018, and there will also be coming up soon. Megan and me just need to figure out our list. Hey, Cats is probably going to be number 1 for me. We're going to do the top 10 worst of 2019 and the best of 2019. Of course, we're going to end with the best of 2019 because we just want to end on a positive note. Also, we will get to y'all a best and worst of the 2010s. It does seem a little premature to do that because I haven't seen everything I really want to see from 2019, especially some of the worst movies. But I do want to try and get out something. Look for it in about February, maybe March or so. We'll get out the best and the worst of 2010s because it's a new decade in like 3 days. So we'll see what that all entails, and if you'll see if you like what we really loved, or see if you like what we really fucking hated. I think you all will be a little pissed off at both of us, especially me. I'm a contrary bastard. So for the next month, for January, the first movie we're gonna go see is gonna be The Grudge. I don't give a shit about it, but it's really like the only thing that's coming out. And I don't need to see Grudge again, but fuck it, why not? It's probably gonna suck ass. The last few haven't been that great since the freaking original Japanese one. I don't get why it's rated R. I'm not saying you can't make a good rated R Grudge movie, but as far as I remember, like the original Japanese one wasn't rated R. It was just creepy as fuck. For the weekend, the next week or after that, which would be January 10th, we're going to have 1917 will probably be the movie we're going to see. I know I promised it way back when. It's when it's getting its final, or its wide release. If we don't get a chance to see that, it'll probably be Just Mercy. Which, yes, I know technically that got released last year. That's because it's trying to get an Oscar. But, yeah, that's what we'll probably end up seeing. One of those two. But look for probably 1917. In fact, Megan may have a bet going on with that one. Then, for January 17th, or the weekend of the 17th, it's the movie I've actually been kind of looking forward to since I started seeing trailers for it, and I can't help it. I told y'all I'm a Michael Bay fan. We're going to go see Bad Boys for Life. I know some people are like, why don't you go see Doolittle? No, I don't want to. I don't care. I straight up just don't care. Megan doesn't care. There's nobody that I know really gives a shit about Doolittle, and what we've seen of it, we're like, it's a movie. For the next week, which will be the week of the 24th, we're going to see The Gentleman. I'm a big sucker for Guy Ritchie movies. I really haven't hated one yet. So why am I going to stop now? Well, I do know one I don't like. But that one barely qualifies as a Guy Ritchie movie. And that, of course, is swept away. So, yeah. And then for the end of January, we're going to see Gretel and Hansel. Well, it probably is not going to be all that great. Not because I didn't like the Vivitch, but it's more upon the fact that I just don't know why I need to see this again. I've seen other stories and other horror movies sort of like this. And not only that, but I'm kind of getting tired of the super, super slow build and burn, pardon me, horror movies. It's actually beginning to be a trope in and of itself. I'm kind of want my slasher movies, my good slasher movies back. Please. Please. So yeah, that's January. Some weird movies, but hey, January is always a weird month. Hopefully we'll actually get some out, because it does seem like we're going to have a decent amount of releases we'll have. And y'all get to look forward to seeing like a whole bunch of lists too, so yay! So hey, that's Cats. Fucking miss it. If you absolutely are curious, like I said, get a bootleg of the movie, pirate it. I don't care. Do not give this movie a penny. Sneak into the theater. That's fine. I think, most theaters would be okay with it. In fact, the theater that Megan and me went to, they served food and everything. The guy was kind of sitting there chit-chatting with me a lot throughout it. He was probably like, you poor guy. He was so nice, too. And I was like, all right, you're getting a good tip, sir. You took care of me. You kept me sane. Oh, say, that's Cats. Fuck that movie. Fucking the ear. So until then, everybody, I'll see y'all next year, and Megan and me will be back with the garage. So until then, everybody, bye bye.